Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day so far here on Long Island. And if you've stumbled across this video, you're probably one of two people. You're either doing all the research you can to try and figure out what's involved in changing the fuel filter in your C4 Corvette, or you've already been underneath the car and you found your fuel filter and you thought to yourself, how the hell am I going to get this thing out of there? Well, I am the latter of those two people. In fact, this is my third attempt at taking the fuel filter out, and I think I've finally got it dialed in. I know the title of the video says it's the easiest way to change the fuel filter in a C4. Truth be told, I have no idea if this is going to be easy or not until I get through it, but I have a pretty good feeling about this, and we're going to get through it together. A couple of tools you're going to need. Let's see. We've got a 5/8 flare nut wrench. That is for the fuel line where it meets the fuel filter. I've also got a regular open end 5/8 wrench, just if we need if it doesn't work, whatever. I have that too. We've got a 5/16 wrench to disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. 10mm socket and ratchet, though that is for the fuel line clamps that run along the body of the car. We're going to undo those, that way we get a little more flexibility in the line. An adjustable wrench. I don't like using adjustable wrenches, but here's the problem. The new fuel filter is a 19mm size, so that's fine. I've read that the factory fuel filter is a 13/16, but the thing is, this 13/16 is a little sloppy on the fuel filter, and 3/4 is too small. 19 is too small, so I'm thinking it might be a 20mm wrench. I don't have one, or I can't find it. I don't know, so I'm going to use this one instead. If you have a 20mm, that might work just fine. I'm going to do what I can with the adjustable wrench. A little pair of pliers. We're going to use that to pull the fuel pump fuse. That way we can more or less get as much fuel as we can out of the lines before we take everything off. And I'm missing something. I am missing... there they are. Fuel line disconnects. We're going to need the, I don't know, either the 5/16 or the 3/8 to take the line off the top of the motor. It's easy. It's not that difficult, and I think it's going to give us just the right amount of play we need in the line to get the fuel filter off. And you're going to see why when I crawl into the car right now. Kind of a pain to film and hold the light in the camera, but there is the fuel filter. And you can see that the bottom line isn't too tough to get to, but the top is all the way up here, and you can't really get anything up there. Maybe a crow's foot would help. But what I'm planning on doing is disconnecting this, not that, this one, and taking off all the, Jesus Christ, loosening up all these nuts, these clamps that hold the fuel line to the body. Hopefully that'll give me a little bit of play. I can pop this off, and if I disconnect the fuel line to the top of the motor, I might be able to fish this thing down enough to get a good view of the top coupling and take it off like that. But we're gonna see. I think it should be easy because it's not particularly difficult, theoretically. I should add that this is a 94 with the LT1 motor. Your earlier or later model years might have the fuel pump in a different position. I know that the earlier models, I believe, have the fuel filter lower on the frame rail, where you don't need to do all this funky stuff to get to the lines. You just do it and take it off. It's that easy. What you're going to want to do is locate your fuel pump fuse. And you see, I don't know how well I can focus on that, FP1, FP2. My understanding is that only the ZR1s have the FP2 fuse, and that can be evidenced because my car is not a ZR1 and that fuse is missing. So we're going to start the car, we're going to pull the FP1 fuse until the motor dies. So let's go ahead and do that now. We'll start the car. All right, we're gonna pull the FP1 fuse, which is this guy, and that was quick. I wasn't expecting it to die that quickly, but here we are. Next thing you're gonna want to do is take a 5/16 wrench and you can disconnect the negative terminal of the battery. Generally, I'm too lazy to do this, but this time I will, because we are gonna be working kind of close to the starter. We are gonna be working with gasoline vapors and fumes, and I just don't feel like cooking myself in front of my wife and kids. Next thing we're gonna do, I don't know if it's really necessary or not, but we're going to get any air out of the system, out of the fuel system. So I'm gonna take the cap off this Schrader valve. Try not to drop it down in the motor, and put it right on top. Take this guy, just give it a little press, just like you're trying to deflate your ex-girlfriend's tires on her car. There we go, no air at all in there. I'm just gonna put the cap back on so nobody suspects a thing and walk away. Next, we're gonna take our 10mm socket and undo these fuel clamps right there. And of course, the long socket is too long, and my 10mm regular socket has walked away. Let me go get a wrench. 10mm wrench. Let's try this again. Perfect. Lefty loosey. All right, that's that. Take that off. I just had a realization, and I'm going to put this at the beginning of the video also, because it's going to save you guys a lot of mess. If you want to go ahead and take off your fuel pan, your fuel panel, all that stuff, it's just a couple T15 screws that hold this piece on, and this just pops out. It's just rubber. If you go in there with a pair of vice grips and tape up the teeth so you don't mar the hose, crimp off this hose here. That's your supply line. And if you crimp that off, you're not gonna get any fuel coming out of there. So go ahead and insert this before you take off the fuel filter, and you will save a lot of gasoline spillage. I wish I had thought about that sooner, but here we are. Easiest, right? Now you know, easiest thing to do, crimp that off. I should have mentioned this before, but try and get your car as high in the air as you can. It'll make crawling under it much, much easier. Now, crawling under the car, there's one right above my head, but it's too close for me to swing the camera up there. 3, and if you want to go back up here, I think there's another one, but I'm just going to try undoing these 3 clamps and see how that works. While you're at it, go ahead and take off this clamp bolt. I don't know if you need to, but you might need to, and since you're under here, you might as well do it now. In addition, if you have a convertible, you're going to have the X-brace that's bolting on right here, and you're gonna need to take that thing out if you want to get to the fuel filter. I don't have a convertible, so I don't have this, and I'm in good shape. So for whatever reason, I can't get the flare nut wrench on there, so I'm just gonna use the regular 5/8 open end wrench and the adjustable wrench. And I'm not gonna take it off all the way. I just want to loosen up and see what happens. Be sure to get yourselves a catch can, and hopefully you're wearing some crummy clothes, because you're probably going to get gasoline on yourself. That cracked off very nicely, and I've got it finger loose now. So gas is leaking out of here pretty good. I'm just going to try and get through this as quick as I can without losing too much gasoline. And take off the fuel lines from up here with the fuel line tools. One. Oh, should have put some rags down. And you pop off the other one the same way. Before we get too far along, the fuel filter is labeled with an out side. The side that's labeled out is going to go forward towards the motor. Now, I'm not one to usually brag and pat myself on the back, but My plan worked perfectly. I was able to pull this fuel filter down enough that I'm going to be able to get to those nuts, those fittings, just fine. So I'm going to unscrew those and I'll swap the new filter on. You might notice that I changed my shirt. It's because I was absolutely drenched in gasoline. It was actually starting to burn my shoulders from where it ran up my arm. But I'll tell you what, after crimping off that hose, this thing was a whole lot easier to get on. I've got the top line fitted, I've got the bottom line fitted. I just have to try and get this bracket back into its spot. Let me work on that. And then I gotta put on, oh man, I gotta work on getting all these other brackets back in. So, should be pretty easy from here on out. All right, I've got everything underneath buttoned up. All the clamps are all tightened along the frame, the body rail. That clamp for the filter is clamped and tightened. I just gotta pop these guys back on. These are easy, just push them on, you hear them click, click. Got those back on. First thing I'm gonna do is uncrimp the line. I'll crawl underneath, see if we have any leaks. I don't see any leaks. Next, I'm gonna replace that fuse that we pulled. It's right here, and this guy goes right there. And we'll go back around.
Dad.
What's up, little man?
So I just got so I just finished the lap in Forza Horizon 2, and
yeah.
it was 57 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
That's my best lap in every single championship I've done.
57 seconds. It's pretty quick.
That's mixed by.
Hey, little man. Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, I hear binging. Where's my wrench? Let's tighten up this connection. You don't need to see that. Now, I'm pretty sure everything is done. We've got the line uncrimp, we've got all the clamps reclamped and tightened. The fuel lines are back on. The fuel filter is tight, and the filter clamp is tight. So theoretically, we should be able to start the car. And she does, she fires up. Let's crawl underneath, we'll see if there's any leaks. I don't see anything dripping, but let's take a look. I don't see any leaks. I think this is a success. All right, that's it, easy, right? Now that I've covered myself in gasoline and given myself chemical burns, now you don't have to. Everything's good. I'm gonna put all this back on. Thank you so much for watching.